everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome to my Kingdom Come Deliverance video. Now, I just wanted to make this on the back of quite a few negative / mixed reviews I've seen online regarding Kingdom Come Deliverance. For me, so far, I mean, I've not completed it as of yet. Not gonna lie, I am over 20 hours into the game at this point, so I feel as though I've had enough experience with it to know sort of like where I stand on the game itself, what my thoughts and feelings are on it. And it is, quite frankly, one of the best RPGs I've ever played. For me, it's up there with, you know, your Witcher 3s, your Skyrims, your Oblivions. I didn't really play too much Morrowind, but that's not really the point. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I feel a lot of the criticism that's been sort of placed at the doorstep of Kingdom Come is, you know, probably somewhat harsh. I feel as though probably I give it a bit of leeway because it's an open world game. You expect a few, you know, graphical issues, bugs, etc. Luckily, none of them to me or for me have been game breaking. I can only assume that some of the reviewers have experienced this on the console, whether that be Xbox or PlayStation. I just have heard a lot of not great things about those two platforms, especially the Xbox. I know they had a bit of an issue with the patches and that sort of stuff, but I played it on PC myself, which you know, I'm guessing that is probably the more superior version in terms of its compatibility and whatnot. You know, I've got to say it's been perfectly fine in my opinion. In terms of other, you know, criticisms laid at the game about it being boring, not being historically accurate. I mean, I wasn't really aware we were supposed to be experiencing a time in, you know, in history. I mean, some of the events are fairly out there. You know, some of the quests are really quite interesting, and you know, just situations that probably wouldn't have occurred, I'd have thought, in that time period. But you know, all the other stuff, you know, like the codexes, the books, the general information that it gives you in there is all pretty topical. It's fairly sparse as well, but you know, it's more like the stuff about how they've developed the sword play, your armor, your layering, how you gain your skills. Like, I feel as though it's all very in keeping with what they're trying to portray. We could have a discussion about the save system, which I'm not going to have right now, but whether you can see that as a really good thing or as an annoyance, I don't know. It definitely makes it less casual player friendly. Not that I particularly have an issue with that. If you're going to get involved in something in a game like this, then you have already decided that, you know, I'm willing to give away 60, 70 hours to this game to see it all the way through, to do it justice. So I feel as though really, on that point, you know, those sort of elements to it, people should be appreciating when they're reviewing the game. I do feel as though, you know, a lot of people who do maybe game reviews, myself included, especially when they're not massively interested in the game itself, are not willing to give it as much of a chance. They're not willing to sort of see through its nuances. So with the save system, for example, you know, you can manually save, but it's very sparse. You're given, you know, 3 options to do it at the start. You can then gain more through in-game play, through buying them, through creating them, you know, whatever. And other than that, you know, it just has an autosave feature which is very sparse itself. So it's to actually make you try and think about your decisions in the game and, you know, how you approach each scenario as though, you know, this literally could be the last thing I do, potentially. The combat is also unforgiving at times. You know, you will have one bit where you run up to a guy, you know, he's firing a bow and arrow at you. As soon as you get within striking distance, he's like, crap, you know, I surrender. And then you can have another time where there's a band of literally 6 or 7 bandits in the middle of the road. You try and flee from them, you can't. You then got to go into this way you're fast traveling. You then got to go into the game and, you know, try and somehow, you know, resolve that situation with the odds really stacked against you. And then, you know, some people are just, quite frankly, or some of the AI is just better at swordplay than you are. A lot of people have, you know, sort of thrown the accusation there that it's, you know, it's too slow and clunky, and I do get that. From watching it back, you know, watching someone else having already done it, it perhaps does feel that way. When you're in the game and you're playing it, it doesn't so much. I feel as though you definitely feel an ebb and flow there. You definitely feel where, you know, where you can attack, where you can't.
What is it then?
and yeah, you sort of get a feel for the combat. And, you know, 2v1 situation is really deadly, regardless of how heavily armoured you are, regardless of how good your weapon is.
Let's do it.
Whether some people see that as a bit too hardcore, I don't really see why. I mean, I always think there should be a bit of challenge in there, and I've personally not found it way too challenging at all as of yet. You know, there have been some situations where I've died and I've gone back and found another way around it. So it's just about using your noggin sometimes. But anyway, in conclusion, for me, I feel as though it is probably going to be one of the games of the year. I'm really enjoying it so far. There's going to be lots of videos coming up as well on the channel. Funny bits, funny different things I've seen. Some of the stuff you'll have seen in this video, but I just decided to edit it all together just to really give you a bit of a showcase as to, you know, what might be coming up. But, you know, definitely felt a bit of a fire in my belly after I saw a 2 out of 10 review, and I was a bit like, I must address this in my own little way. Thanks for watching, guys. See you all next time. Goodbye.